This goes out to that woman hustling in the market, to that little boy in the heat selling sachets, that's cold water packets, delicacy a piece, on a humid summer, barefooted, dirty in the street. My young ghetto brothers moving at Tatipere, that's the water shore, where passengers get off the ferry, hopping on their shoulders, wading through the waters, true soldiers, grinding it out to jump the gutters. We all want to live, but barely survive. A man with 4 wives, a tooth short of getting by. Kids galore, can't eat like it was before. So they pray to God, wish it clears all these hunger sores. Life absorbs all of man's sorrow, we borrowed. So it's back to the essence that we follow. A youth gone, the backway's the newest form. Voluntary slave ships built just to bring them on foreign shores. Carnivores on the other side. We used to run and hide, now we struggle to get inside. The standard of living just ain't conducive to their lives. So they sacrifice a hopeless life, kiss it goodbye. I wrote this back in 2013. Back then, CNN was not necessarily showcasing or highlighting the serious situation that we've locally coined Backway. The yearning for greener pastures, to escape poverty, seek for new opportunities, and find dignity and freedom in what they see as the promised land, Europe. Legal immigration is nothing new. But what's driving this new exodus? Why are the youth so hopeless as to take a ruthless path towards what they deem as a better chance at life? How bad must it be? Why are we leading in migrants arriving illegally on the Italian coast? What are we running from? And what can we do to stop this vessel tunneling our nation's youth, raiding us from a chance of a valuable human resource of the future? We are in the era of flight mode. Irregular migration is nothing new. Forced migration has been the foundation of human evolution. The exposure to new lands and customs, expansion of territory and influence have all been a hallmark of world integration as we see today. And particularly in the Gambia, where we grew up hearing stories of stowaways seeking for greener pastures in desperation to escape poverty. For the longest time, Spain has been the go-to nation via Morocco. But in 2011, a world event added more fuel to the fire.
Today, I authorize the Armed Forces of the United States to begin a limited military action in Libya in support of an international effort to protect Libyan civilians.
The ousting of Gaddafi. With the destabilization of Libya and its surroundings came a rampant exodus through a now lawless land controlled by factions of thugs, warlords, and corrupt officials.
The revolutionary forces in
when there was this problem in Libya, we still remember of Gambians going outside, so we call it Backway, increasing. From that time to date, actually the figures are going up.
In 2014, the Gambia tallied the third highest number of asylum seekers arriving in Italy, about 0.5% of a nation of 2.4 million. The promise of employment, educational opportunities, and a better life are just a few of the many reasons for youth migration from the Gambia.
What are the numbers actually looking like if you look at it by percentage from your...
According to IOM statistics, from this year, January to November, those who went to Mediterranean to Italy, Gambia is the third yes, about 7% of the population is Gambians. So we're talking of about 167,276 migrants who went to Sweden to Italy. So Gambia is third in number.
We are third.
Yeah.
Yeah. What nations are 1 and 2?
It's Nigeria and Eritrea.
Nigerian and Eritrea.
Then Gambia third in percentage-wise.
Wow. That's crazy, right? Why do you think that we are one of the highest when it comes to the producers of irregular migrants?
Well, it's difficult to tell, but there are factors. Generally, if you look at the situation, generally, I know with the major part is we have this stigma in the society that, if you get outside, you are better off. But I think, personally, I think that is what is affecting us. And some will say employment, some will be social. It depends on individual cases. But I think definitely the social aspect contributes a lot.
Since 2000, almost 24,000 young men, women, and children have lost their lives making the journey, according to the International Organization for Migration, the IOM. Last year's tally alone has been 3,200 dead trying to make it across the Mediterranean.
Now, up to 400 illegal migrants are thought to have drowned after their boat capsized off the southern coast of Italy. If confirmed, those deaths would add to the skyrocketing numbers of migrants lost at sea.
I took on this documentary, not solely for the concern of what's happening in my beloved country and how to add relevance to this phenomenon, but to also understand and learn from the perspective of the most vulnerably inclined to take this risk, going through treacherous terrain to seek for a better life.
Gambia ñëpp a bon ak talent amul kenn koo xam ne juddu nga fi amuloo loo mun a def ba ay force da ngaa defandu soo time yi xale nii waaye sooy mag yëpp a dee loos because gisuloo si benn njëriñ gisuloo ko si def dara ba am si dara xam soo yow da ngaa ne li amul njëriñ te soo génnee Gambia yaay cappa ñeneen ñuy def lu niroo loolu rek ñu ngi si rise.
Wow, si li nga defee bu ko dimbalee waajur rek moo dama jël ko nag da ko ne laa foofu xamoo métier wala xam nga moo dama jël ko daal na ko dugg mun na dimbale suma waajur rek moo dama jël ko donc maa fi war doon ting si xam nga dama tudd daal.
I was supposed to come back for a second interview with him, but by the time I set another one up through Bilal, he had once again taken the treacherous journey back to Libya.
Spain la woon léegi Italy amuñ choice Backway la ñuy utali ñu nit bugga nañ am suñ life tali lu manqué lépp ñu dal di ko mootali moo tax foog ma dem damay taw ci kër gi duma nekk fii poverty di taw ci kër gi stress di law ci kër gi sun is hot foog noppalu ci kër gi li ma bugga mooy sigil pabek mère bi samp man son happy divorce mère bi res añak reer bi génna leen dem bi teer si leer bi word.
There is no other art form as honestly brutal as hip-hop music. It's bold, daring, unapologetic, and ambitious. You may think it, but they speak it. From Banjul to Birkama, Serakunda to Bakau, Joshuang to Ibo Town. These artists live it, breathe it, and embody it. The frustrations of a third world experience is well documented and narrated in the most poetic of deliveries. One of my favorite Wolof lyricists happened to be Bilal bin Keba of Poetic X. As someone who has made so many songs focusing on society and challenges facing the youth, I thought it wise to pick his brain a little bit.
Mbiri Backway bi xam nañ ne problème la right waaye suñ seetee si gox bi fii foo lañ jógee like how describe how bad do you think it is?
I mean, it's definitely bad, because last time rek yaa ngi fi ñëwoon pour interview am na koo xam ne experience on na yoon bi xam nga gis nga difficulty sim la wax yëpp si yoon bi but still right now moom nekkatut fi
saa demaat na dafa dellu
waaw demaat na so loolu moo la woon like how bad it is te nekkut moom kenn bu moo dem he went with around 6 to 7 people
6, 7.
Yeah, after, I mean, the following month, I'm not been in group with them, a group of another 6 people, you know, so it's like 10 people living. But right now, I'm not in your I'm not in
You plan to put them out.
Put them, you know, hey, na halis line abun nira, but so you go,
Okay,
yeah, they'll be on their way, definitely.
Damn. Okay, so no consider any like young people take a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
Must not get crisis with them any like no guy did them any must go this at any other time.
No, because some ko compare time buga don't them Spain. Like I don't wanna compare, but that wasn't like this.
Yeah, the time bobu sa hamon na ñu don dem waye musuma gisee for example whole football team di dem suma way.
No, nega mom wax dega bobu ñu bari demoon nañ nak because samba fi tamit dafa bari ñoo xamne like ay napakat lañ séréer ni you know so la ina wa ñom xam nañ geej bi so ñoo doon gëna dem time bobu non because ñom may nañ won xam nañ geej bi even though su fekkee ne yaa ngi xawoon a cool tuuti sax but di nga gis ne xëy na soo demee file mooy gën a cool te xam nga ne yow xam nga géej bi so moo daan gën a push gaay but this one is totally different bi dama gis ne stress la totally xam nga moo dee push gaay pour ñu dem. Yeah, definitely.
So your cause be is stress. So I break it down like love is the real reason.
Real reason be like ñaaka liggéey you know because ñi fi nekkoon yëpp ñu dem la mun a wax ñi fi dem yëpp nekkuñ di liggéey most of them fii lañ dee toog suba ba ngoon si suma salon bi fii nii fa lañ dee nekka most of them amuñ dara lu ñoo def daal te nekkuñ ne ay nit yu na sax lañ sometimes dañ dee jóg dem si géej bi nii sax jéngu ay géej ay jën ni jaayaat ko am si tuuti nii ba dangay ne lu ndaw liñ si dee am comme du leen dee mën a defal dara waaw fii la ñoo ñëw spenaat ko rek dem you know so definitely man li ma gis ne moo gën a tax gaay di dem mooy ñaaka bi ñaaka liggéey bi ak ñaaka am loo xam ne moom la ñoo toppatooyee seen boppa comme nuñ ko bëggee
like lack of opportunities.
Exactly loolu moo leen dee
because mo yan ma mbota janka ying silota to nya yimbanko kan woto mo be ya do ku for some problem walti to ko soto man dia muli ala ko fam be do ko wala do ko ko leata e ko kawo jokende soto ji ayati ne be silo nyum bulaka be do ko bulaka kata silo nyin sa ani to mun sire ngita man tara do ko da do ku tete bulaka mu be do ko wala wali bela do ko bulaka kata saya wala to be hammo so tele pour ka do ko nyinke o ko mo do ko bulaka pour ka wakeba ita wo so tele ita fana be mum be da wala minti ka bojan kata wol fana kata damin because ka yala wotu mo jang jo man do ko wala jo ando yata ba ke do ko dimi mi ke wo jo man so deji.
If you ask any Gambian what will drive them to take the Backway, 9 out of 10 will probably state economic reasons as one of the major factors contributing to this exodus. Unemployment figures for the youth right now stand at a whopping 38%. Some argue that it may be even higher than what was reported in 2012 by the Bureau of Statistics. This gets even worse when the rural-urban migratory trend seems to be increasing each year since 1993, from 37% to 58%, as young rural Gambians move to urban areas in search of employment and access to better living conditions.
You know, fii Backway liggéey boo xam ne fu ñu gën a rafetee liggéey boobu rek la ñoo bëgg a def. Nobody wants to do any blue collar stuff, understand? Waaw bëggaloo tax a peinture bëggaloo tax a diwi moto bëggaloo laal kapit damba daajeeg marto yeeg yooyu noonu you just want to look good xam nga waaw so da ngaa gis ne loolu tamit is a big problem te comme ni ko saay waxee like ok su dee ne yow mun nga dara comme maybe for instance comme ni ko waxee ok like fita nga for instance soo demee foofu man xam naa koy ku daan fix suma moto bi this guy ñu ne Libya la des ba tey sax moom jotut a jaar so bi mu demee ba foofu noonu door di liggéey si garage and I swear like super nekkoon he just told me boy maa ngi ci Pasay boy you know so he has the whole semester thing with him, right?
The semester. What is a semester? I'm sure you'd hear this word thrown around many times in this documentary. So for those not of Gambian origin nor familiar with the term, let me break it down for you. For starters, it has nothing to do with academia. A semester is a holiday maker from the diaspora, most of the time from Europe and places like Germany, the UK, or Scandinavia. They show up at peak times of the season during festive occasions, splurge and party the night away. They get all the girls, all the attention, and you could say are in a class of their own and seem to be more respected than the locals, especially during the tourist season. Every child growing up in the Gambia at some point aspires to be one, someday.
Libya that's on the bottom garage, the garage, clip car. Put one on the bottom bench, food them back. Yeah, food them back, Dinamuna survive for some. Then you can go to swing problem. So that is the motor feed when it comes to disciplines, the entrepreneurs, some like you builder man, fitter, carpenter, mason, tire man, toll man, whatever, you go for Halad Gambia. Mostly you can hear call understand that te lolu tamit ñun du suñu yokkute am fi mu ne nii comme in that same blog article bi ma doon bind ne ok su Tobaski jotee which is like season boo xam ne ñëpp dañ dee dem holiday after Tobaski bi that whole month bi doo am dara loo du mburu dañ ci xam nga doo dem si marché bi nga am dara so ñun ñu ngi fi toog rek di xaar Babylon so ñun tamit loolu is a big problem so even so waxee ne economic situation bi mu ngi métti sax but ñun tamit bare wuñ ko fee xaaree jobs.
So why follow on a mentality village educator? It's a culturally embedded thing. For example, time school. If you don't study, you'll end up being a farmer. Like farming is a bad thing.
This barbershop is owned and operated by young Gambians who practically spent the majority of their lives right here in the Gambia. Which means that no matter how little, there are prospects for self-employment and entrepreneurship in the Gambia. Government cannot provide jobs to be filled by every single Gambian youth, of course, but policies are clearly needed to bolster employment prospects. But there's an underlying question. How much are we losing as a nation?
The reason why it's an immediate problem, you go to school, you go to hospitals. Any country is led by teachers, nurses, and to an extent, the police officers. Today, if you look at the numbers that we're losing in these three fields just because of migration, it creates a disruptive nature in terms of society. So society is suffering on that level. And secondly, you look at the economics of it. The economics of it shows that our society has gone through significant transformation because of migration, and this transformation is affecting availability of skilled labor. The tailors, the mechanics, we don't get them as we used to. So what's suffering? The output of the country is suffering, and consequently, it will also impact the GDP of this country. So a study needs to be conducted at one point by the government to understand the overall impact of migration on economic activity in the Gambia. And unless and until we do such a study or embark on such a study, we cannot quantify the overall negative impact migration has had. But just looking at it from our vantage point, we've realized that migration has really put a dent in economic activity and also create major disruptions in our social cohesiveness.
ñun Gambian si comme tukki dafa dee suñu xol especially Europe comme daf ñu jaral anything because soo ko seetee soo nekkee semester comme soo jógee Europe c'est bon mu nekk Georgia sa wala Eastern Europe sa xamuñ ko amuñ dara waaye na nekk Europe rek comme dañ la dee respect everybody ñëpp la jox maximum respect even su dee sa tukkeeguloo bro nga am visa nii rek dugalante visa yi ñoo xam ne léegi saa yi dafa tukki yaa gën a nekk xale si jotaay bi yaa doon chain yaa dee dem yaa yoole ñoo yooni si sobi so that day la loolu di dox that day comme that day respect maximum respect lañ laa jox comme tàggoo nga rek damaaguloo la waa fekka sax da nga tàggoo rek ñu jox la maximum respect soo ñëwee within that time balaa ngaa dem koto yi ñooy jóg san toogal kay toog nii ku nekk daf la treat spécial soo da ngaa capane ñeneen ñëpp yow wan si ñëpp dañoo bëgg man tamit su ma magee kay dama tukki ma Europe nii naa nii xam nga because yow loolu picture boobu nga dee gis
All I hear down here, different days, same shit. Fake promises, waiting with the same heartbeat. I wake up every time hearing in my neighborhood a nigga got arrested. I wish I could turn the time, bring back the old days when visas were granted, frost and old ways. Depressed by the fact that home is a cold place. Nyepo booga dust and duck like a cut case. Kulawa tukidina tangateki. He's lying to you cause you ain't no love for fakey. Talk torok mogen boka si anbi. Take that flight fata jolo focus si can be. Ask he who went and came back and he would tell you down there is a comeback. Ask he who's digging the soundtrack and he would tell you jollof is a rent contract.
Tuki teki talk torok. Kufi tuki teki kufi talk torok, which directly translates from the Wolof language as travel, succeed, stay, suffer. Whoever travels succeeds, whoever stays suffers. Deep. That's the song where this a cappella came from. I thought I'd have a word with Red Sam of Grandish Crew to elaborate more on this hardline perspective.
What do you think is that what pushes that message to make people actually go?
How do you feel if they don't call you a citizen of the world? That you don't have, that you can travel around freely, that you need a visa to go out there, that you need, okay, like that you have to be some kind of rich or somehow like with a bank account to travel around when we are supposed to be free. We are human beings, like the world is for us. We're supposed to travel around, we're supposed to explore the world. But it's so unfair that they have to call you an outsider because you live in Africa or you were born in Africa. It's a mistake. Like if you were born in Africa now, nobody's proud to be born in Africa anymore. Because if you are born here, you are not a citizen of the world, and that's so unfair.
It's a disadvantage.
Yeah.
How does it feel not to be a citizen of the world? Well, it's either your head is buried in the ground or you just might have been paying attention to how this modern world works. See, the relationship with the West and Africa has been a funny one. We are governed according to Western standards. The continent has been invaded, enslaved, divided, and colonized by Western and Arab nations since the opening of the Great Adventure into Africa.
I saw this article, I think it was last week, and it was a couple of people that had drowned. I think it was around 300 people dead at sea.
Mm-hmm.
And they suffocated before they could even get there. And the first thing that hit me was, it very much reminded me of what used to happen during slavery time. But the only difference is instead of us running away and being captive, we actually pay money to go through that same thing that we went through slavery. Do you see a correlation here?
Yeah, I mean, the correlation between the Atlantic slave trade and this current wave of migration, I mean, the greatest link is capitalism. Capitalism was built upon slavery and indigenous genocide, and these people are living here because capitalism has messed this place up, and it is the global corporate capitalist structure that has created that vast amount of wealth in the West that most people are seeking out there. So for me, the link has always been the concentration of capital within the elitist 1% stronghold, which is like, because the world has been divided. You have the 1%, which is the center, and then you have the 99%, which is the periphery. So obviously, you know, with the global system structured like this and globalization, you know, the only thing you can do is to seek out wealth that you can easily have in your lifetime to live a decent life. You must seek the center, you know, the cities, the colonial metropole, which is the West, of course. I mean, after centuries of domination and slavery and genocide, it is only real that what used to be here, that people could sustain themselves, is fast eroding. So they have to, I mean, the erosion that happens with materials is also happening with human beings. So we have a human erosion. But all in all, the correlation for me, the link between slavery and this migration is definitely capitalism.
The media has added to this delusion, of course, with images of Africa portrayed as the continent with no hope, marred with wars, poverty, disease, and hunger. Meanwhile, the West is portrayed as the beacon of success. It's a common misconception to attach success with the West.
Parce que dëkk bi dafa metti waay ku amul avion uti yoon dugga si géej bi waay il faut ñu dem. They ain't giving us no visas, keep on rejecting us when they don't really need her in fuck ñu dem. Parce que dëkk bi dafa metti waay ku amul avion uti yoon dugga si géej bi waay il faut ñu dem. They ain't giving us no visas, keep on rejecting us when they don't really need her and fuck you them. Working hard every day and don't get what we want, and it's hard to survive off of $50 a month. Some choose the back way because they've been denied the front. Yes, some choose the back way because they've been denied the front, and they look at the success of those that are abroad, sending expensive cars and building nice yards, taking care of their moms. Yo, bu papa ma car. Yo, I'm visa lele nyan ya la. Yeah, it's never right. Of course, it's never right. But you can't blame someone in the dark, searching for a better light. Living conditions are hard, searching for a better life, so they make the sacrifice. We gotta give the youth hope and empower their dreams, alleviate poverty and work on empowerment schemes. And yo, for real, the Western world really needs to stop rejecting us when we apply for a visa.
All right, once again, let's make it visual. How many people applied for visas?
Wow.
And everyone got rejected.
Yeah.
Which brings us to one of the biggest drivers of this phenomenon, the enormous pink elephant in the room, visa rejections. The Gambia remains one of those countries whose visa rejection by first world countries is dauntingly high. So confronted with these statistics and with the experiences of their peers, it is unsurprising that many young people feel that they have no recourse other than via unofficial channels.
L'infiltration de djihadistes au milieu des flux de migrants est une réalité. Et cette réalité, elle a tué vendredi dernier. Vous pouvez faire semblant de ne pas voir cela, mais elle est là, cette réalité. Et on ne peut pas ne pas en tenir compte. Continuer à laisser ces flux de migrants de manière incontrôlée, alors que vous savez pertinemment que l'Union européenne et que les pays frontaliers de l'Union européenne sont dans l'incapacité.
It is true that Europe, over the past decade, has been moving towards a more nationalistic and right-wing stance with their politics. Events such as the Brexit and the rise of so-called radical right-wing groups in places like France and even Scandinavia have pushed for more hardline immigration policies, especially for irregular immigrants, making it even tougher and deadlier to actually enter the borders of Europe. Yet, in haunting echoes of the slave trade, too many leave our shores and their desperate families behind in search of nirvana. Most fail to reach their destination and are returned by immigration authorities losing the money that had been invested on them, something that could have been used to sustain their families, making their situations even worse. And too many simply disappear.
Oh, okay. So ñoom ñaar la. Bii moom dellu see from Sénégal.
No, déedéet bii mooy bu ma jógee Angleterre.
Oh boy, okay, okay. Ñaata years la amoon? 30 years.
30 years. Seeni xale bu bugg a yaay la ku bugg a nit la sax amul yaay di rakkam yi di maamam yi di sistam yi ñëpp la like dee bu mu waxee ne dafa dem jëloon na idée dem waaye fekkul ma fi nga fekk ma ngi suñu dem léegi dee bu ma ñib see fekk suma mag ñu ngi ko war a doomam bu ma yar dañ koy takkal jabar pour xewal léegi si laa ñëw si xew bi ma ñëwee daal mu takk taxaw ma daal ne dafay dem bis wi dem nag mu maa kool di ma waxi dem su waxee rek ma ne ko man awma xaalis boobu su waxee rek ma wan ko ne ko awma xaalis may naxantee moom ba ma ñib si ma ñëwee mu taxaw ma daal ne ma damaa dem munu ma si dara bee bu moo dem sax dama génn man maa moom ba si mbedd mi because moom dafa friendly hol ñëpp la taabu nga yoon sax nit ñi dañ ko dee ndëbb waaye moom ñëpp a xam ne dafa tukki ñëpp la waxat because daf daan def misi daf daan woy programme yooyu la daan def booy sam yëpp a yëg ne seeni dafa tukki mu demee ko ñoo ni kaw la xam su deddee bam demee ba si nga ne génn na si kër gi ba man ma em si bunti kër gi dama wàññeeku di jooy because mooy suma taaw waaye mënuma si dara jël na décision ne dafaa dem léegi si yoon bi nag moom mu ngi xool di waxaa man maire dimbale ma yónnee ma su ko defee ma yónnee ko maire dimbale ma yónnee ma ba mu eggat Tripoli ñu ngi wax every time moom ñu ngi wax daf ma dee xool su ma ko gisee dégg rek xam nga yoon bi moom léegi-léegi ñu jàppal waaw waaye su ko defee rek yàlla daf ko dee dimbale mu amaat yoon because moom dem na ba nu nekk dem Tripoli ñu jàppul ko comme tëj ko pour ma fay xaalis tamit waaye dinañ leen daan téye na su leen daan téye daal daan am sens bu leen téye after ñu bàyyi leen waaw su moom si sens yooyu la doon bokk ba mu egga Tripoli léegi balaa Tripoli sa saaba la eggoon léegi after mu call ma mu ne dama ko war a fayal 15,000 mu dem Tripoli ay moom dafa am si benn naar bu nekkoon daf doon liggéey si foofu ne am na 8,000 ma just ma mottalil ko mu dem Tripoli parce que moom nekk na nit koo xam ne liggéeykat la waaw moom liggéeykat la moom liggéey rek la xam moom duy noppal lu mu gis rek mun na see bokk moom amul choice lu mu gis rek mun naa liggéey waaye ba mu demee Tripoli tamit mayit ma jaama ma ne ko seeni may ma xew bi paase ma feyal la nga dem waaye moo xam nga addunaam daf ko yàkkamti mu ne ma déedéet parce que xew bi bu paasee seen xaalis bi jeex danga maa bàyyi Tripoli léegi yow feyal leen man ma dem yéen seen xew bi loo leen am ngeen eggalee ko waaye man daal dumbale ma rek feyal ma mu ma ko wax bi si dimanche mu ne naa ko feyal mu dem ma ne ko tey de dimanche la mu ne maa dem si banque bi man fa tamit maa ngi am fii ay nit ma dugg si naar bi rek bitigi naar bi ma ne ko man sama doom bi daf may wax léegi naa ko yónnee xaalis te mu ne maa génnee xaalis te ëllëg Monday la c'est public holiday léegi gannaaw ëllëg rek talaata rek laa mën a génnee xaalis mu ne ma ñaata nga soxla ma ko 35,000 mu compté 35,000 moom naar bi jox ma léegi ba loolu amee ma fay ba pare man ma ñëw si kii léegi ma kool seeni mu ne ko yow seeni mu ne man la ma sa yaay mu ne ma ko fayal naa la waaye yaa faa dina la kool te su la koolee nga soog a dem mu ne ma baax moom before yaa faa di kool mun naa seeni génn la foofu daal léegi
To lose a child is a painful thing. I cannot begin to imagine what she's going through. But to have no clue where your child is would be unbearable. She's been living like this for over 5 years.
Lutta mu foog ne lii la am pour def lan la woon dafa
dara because nitu dara man suma aw ma de man suma
waaye dafa foog ne foog mu dem Backway
man suma du taxawal
waaye waxu la lu tax
friend dem na rek dama dem
soo ñii dem nañ man tam la war a dem
waaw dama war a dem man tam dama war a méeg dara dama war a am dara waaye yaa ngi tukki yaa ngi ma fi bàyyi
so experience boobu yëpp an naxar boo leen am boo leen dikkee for the last ñeneenti at ban advice nga mun a jox koo xam ne mu ngi koo xalaat o waajuri koo xam ne mu ngi jéem a fayal doomam dem
waaw man de nu ma digal suma moromi jigéen ñi daan mooy ne ko sa doom tàggu la du ko bàyyi xale yi na duñuy tàggoo ndax si diggante boobu ne 2 years si séeni maa ngi jooy séeni parewu ma suma bi ne doom bu góor bi dem ma nekk si problème boobu tamit waaye moom yàlla dimbale ko balaa ñoo wax amul si yoon bi moo fekk egg na ita waaw waaye moom si diggi suma problème bi si la bi xaritam daan fanaanal fii ni ñu bokk benn néeg kooku dem commencé di seen netaal yeeg yooyu rek ñun tamit mu ne dafaa dem.
Yet, many more are waiting in Libyan jails and cities, ready and willing, hoping that once they gain freedom or gathered enough money to pay smugglers, they will hit the high seas to get somewhere in Europe, somehow.
Yeah, we was trapped in here, now he's gone. I probably can say I'm trapped in here, living life in fear. A rocking chair, I'm cheerleading my dreams to triple into Italy by any means, you know. I gotta start with something. Told my father he ain't giving me nothing. I'm on my own, but yet is so close, trying to find God. But all I saw was me alone, I hurt. The boss is taking up for 8 grand. Mama trusted me, he gave me thousands in 8 brands. My uncle didn't know, he gave me 60 grand to put in line. Lord forgive me, but I need to blow. He gave me dough like, son, go and save that stacks. My man was like, one day I'ma pay you back. When I find my way, I'm coming back home. I took the back way to find my way back to the drone. Mama.
I had a job and then a feeling that come more than 20 of us. But then them come, let's say like four of them in this year. And it was sad of a meeting. After small video shooting, they will then take off. But then we guys young. Mune kon lo xamantene ni dafa over na laal ak ñu laal sa la laal fi yeb because tay fi dafa mel bo na dafa mel ni dafa saron mo. So I was like, okay, come on, at least more speed lo xamantene ni sen stress la lolu bokon na sax so lu gënon na tax man harama ligay lu mel
waaye loo foog ne loolu moo lay cause gars yi ekkati ne dañoo dem xam ne gars yi mën nañoo dee si yoon gis nañ vidéo yi gis nañ news report yi xam nga lu nekk daal gis nañ yu négative yi daal si Backway so lu leen inspire ba gars yi foog na suñ demee dañ koo make by force.
Okay, nekut comme
ñu take chance bi anyway.
Wow, comme like nekut ne comme baña dee o bu nga dem teggi moo tax but ku nekk bu nga naa
du bëgg a dem teg
du loolu rek du loolu am na ñoo xamante ne bu nga nañoo dem because dañ gis seen situation yi koñ bi fii koñ bi la am man koñ bi la am nu mel Ibora nu mel dañ soona boobu ba pare dañ nekk dëkk boo xamante ne comme like système bi faale wut ni soo bàyyi xel soo koofee nii rek yoon bi foofu mënu faa jaar parce que ndox bi mooy loolu yéen a xuut ci da ngaa dugg kër yi booy lekka bu correct sax dañ ko am ba pare ñun ñëpp comme xam nga si façon dëkk yooyu lañ jógee si façon néeg yooyu lañ jógee daanaka so it was like comme ku nekk bu nga naa parce que nee naa dem ñëwaat change bagage.
Okay, so basically for greener pastures, opportunity that nañ mën a dellu si waat ba pare change seen situation. waaw foog nga ne dañoo jéem a dellu si waat xam nga dañoo just jéem a dem because dañ foog na Europe mooy loolu soo fa àggee rek moom tekki na.
xam nga am na ñoo xamante ne dañ laa wax ne comme loolu taxul leen faa dem waaye du ñàkk mu am ñoo xamante ne noonu la ñoo dundal noonu la ñoo def waaw mun ngaa dem sa éene mooy dem ñëwaat defar xam nga mu gën a baax waaye yàlla moo la dogal am na ñoo xam ne mooy loolu but most of them right now nii sax ñu ngay gëstu seen famille si la naa yóoni lu mu bon duñu la naa du ñoo am foofu lu ndaw noonu tabaski yi dañoo try jox leen dara xam nga still maa ngi gis ñun sax suñu boy yi am na koo xamante ne jullit bëriwul waaye daf ñu yónnee $500 da was sick daf ñu yónnee $500 ñu toog jënd ko ataaya na da was mun nañ si waa alhamdulilah rek waaye soo bàyyi xel fii tax yu fi nekk yëpp ndalaa ne semestre yi ñoo ko fi teg amul kenn koo xamante ne mu ngi liggéey si gouvernement bi wala si mu ngi liggéey si benn private sector boo xamante ne mais na ko xaalis boo xamante ne nii mun la si dimbale fii nii gisuma ko fi ñu fi dee dimbale yëpp mun naa wax ne si gars yi la rek so yow nga gis loolu yow nga magee si loolu gis ne ok fii ñu dee comme ñu fi dee tekki yëpp ooye ko ñu fi dee tekki yëpp aw dañ dee jóge how about yow da nga wax sa bopp damaa dem join gars dañ dee def ma def ko
so loolu lay create mentality boobu su ma demee naa mun a
waaye that's it.
Normally, the vast majority of people taking this journey are men. And besides the obvious reasons, there's also a reason why a man will leave his family and all that he could achieve in his very nation and dangerously seek a path to the West.
Because if you look at it, 2014, the IOM recorded 5,167 Gambian men and only 17 females. So it's a really high number from a small population. I think we are number 3 in the world, the people that are illegally migrating. And why so many young men? I think a lot of times we look at migration as a genderless, rational decision. But in Gambia, it's not. If it was just rational, then men and women will go because we have a lot of female-headed households. In Gambia, though, it's a lot of men and a lot of boys that tend to go. And it's because, is it because of the fantasy of Europe being Babylon? Or is it because there's this pressure for young men to go out and actually make the money and send it back home? So today, if you go around town, you will see people sitting around in the zoos, right? Because they're all trying to go back home. And it creates, in the long term, it will create a lot of structural balance. Like, it will not create a very good system that we have to address. And I'm not sure if people are really taking note of the gender balance of it. It's really imbalanced. And if a lot of men are going, socially, in a superficial sense, we be like, how will people have a family structure? But if a lot of young men are actually traveling and ended up dying, what will happen to those that stay, right?
You have single mothers, parents growing, kids growing up with no father.
Exactly, and there's more pressure on the people that stay, the females that stay, to head the household until the person makes it. What if the person never makes it, gets to Libya, gets stuck, tries to cross the Mediterranean, drowns, or get to Italy and never get papers and have to be deported eventually? So it's a whole generation that we might lose because situation here is not viable, it's not sustainable for young men, and we have to really focus on it. It's something that from childhood you hear about. You are only successful if you have left the country, which is not necessarily true, but it's hard to deny that the country is extremely difficult if you cannot provide here, whilst you, let's say, have a basic education. What are you going to do? So you tend to leave. And if you leave, even if you're a cleaner in anywhere you go, sending euros, 100 euros, is better than staying here and getting $500 a year.
Gambia went through a massive political shift in December of 2016 when the former dictator and tyrant, President Yahya Jammeh, lost the vote to Adama Barrow, who formed the coalition government. With that came the promise of more aid, an unfreezing of promised contributions by organizations like the EU, who signed an €11 million package towards curbing the flow of irregular migrants into Europe by creating more employment opportunities for the youth.
Indeed, the Youth Empowerment Project is a flagship project in the Gambia now because it really attracts a good number of youth who are vulnerable in that sense regarding migration. And I think this is also a meaningful way to empower them, to give them chances, to prepare them for finding their way in the country. Whether it is training, whether it is other skill development, entrepreneurship, it doesn't really matter. The point is that there is something they can be equipped with that would help them to start up their life. I don't think we should draw far-reaching conclusions yet. However, we can witness the tendencies. If we look at the tendencies regarding the migration flows, we can already observe a serious cutback. Now, I am not saying this is a direct result of the YEP project. What I am saying is that certainly there are different efforts, undertakings, including projects like the YEP project, which altogether may actually result in better statistics, which means less people feel like living, working in the Gambia is not an option.
But how are these funds planned to be used? With that, I decided to take a trip to the nation's capital, Banjul, where this phenomenon has been going on for decades.
It's been a year and I've not seen much happening in terms of change, especially in terms of developing our youths. We all know that we received millions of dollars from the EU in terms of youth employment, youth development, to curb the illegal migration. Yes, they have started training the youths. They have started giving them some seed money to start their own businesses. But for me personally, I would say it is not enough. We've asked some few questions to the relevant authorities, like the relevant ministries in charge of youth, in charge of employment, but up to date, as a parliament, we have not done much, and I would own up to it that we have not pushed enough to come up with new laws that would really empower our youths to actually stop them from going.
It's at this moment very clear that the nation is still at a fragile state, economically and security-wise. The last regime left us in peril, raiding the little we had from the national coffers and also leaving an unstable government structure that needs to be rebuilt from almost scratch. Things have been slow, and the youth are understandably frustrated.
So opportunity among business entrepreneurship and businesses. So possible on. Fog nga ñu bari nañ.
Non. Kon duñ dem men. Kon duñ dem na Afrique fii am na dëkk yu bëri yoo xam ne ñu ngi Afrique fii. So doo dee dégg doomi dëkk yooyu di génn sax di jéem a wuti feneen. Fii moom dafa over tight. For tight. Everybody. ñëpp du si paa yi du si meer yi du si ñun xale yi du si mag. Tight man. War nañoo xool beneen système boo xam ne suñ ko liyee daal suñ si duggee daal dina baax. Comme nu mel nii moom still gën a tight dafa gën a worse. Every day moo doon négocier ya dem every day still now give up. Ndoy balaa ñoo gën a mun a dem sax ñu dégg ne diw dee na dañ dee wax ne xoolal yàlla ko rey loolu du suñu affaire so next minute dem rek lañ dee gis so da nga gis kii su neexoon mooy loolu.
But according to the Minister of Trade, Dr. Aissatou Touré, who handles the youth employment portfolio part of the EU funding, major projects are being put forth towards curbing this backway phenomenon.
I want to assure that now the Gambia have changed and we are putting in very important policies and directions that are going to respond to the needs of the young people, because these are the critical mass that we look up to in the now and in the near future. They are the leaders now and tomorrow. And now with the youthful exuberance and the dream of going to Babylon, you have to understand that. But this study is very affirming that we have done, that 98% has said they don't intend to go back because of the horrible experiences they had going to jail, their money being finished, and they were almost enslaved. And therefore, when they heard about the changes, they decided to come back. Now, it is the duty of the state to ensure that we capture that momentum, discuss with them, know what the ways of providing economic opportunities within the country for all the youth in general, and also to empower them to understand that you can make your money in the Gambia without going further anywhere, because you have young people coming here. For example, the neighboring Senegal, Guinea-Bissau, La Guinea, and Mali. You have quite a number of young people here who are making ends meet, and definitely they are growing. So I think the mindset and our attitude to work has to change. So I think if they are empowered enough, they will not think about it, because when the opportunities are there, they will not think about it, particularly when they have gone and had experiences. And I think this is the message I want to say, is that the government of the Gambia is doing a lot at the moment to respond to this. And the President, His Excellency Adama Barrow, has given priority and prominence to this issue of young people being employed and being given the opportunity to build their capacity so that they can work on something sustainable and fulfill their dreams.
Government intervention remains the key to alleviating the backway phenomenon. It has been asked that all relevant stakeholders cooperate to create robust avenues for economic, political, and cultural youth development, and has been said that until youths are involved in the decision-making process, we will yield scant improvement in the status quo.
Because Kabiru Molnada nga interview follow Musodo in Kiatres. Ntenga wala for Gali. Ko Kabiru Telnata jam government to nyai mam molhat. Because it is not 4 months you put sino kono. You but hiring sino correct in Bukasoro. Moltata for 1 month or 2 months, Dolby Bukelano, a casile for Fanoek. Ibukele sino, a casile for Fanoek. Mosi file BJ.
more than 400 people bunkilon kono molla kuwol man kelenti nyinka sero mum bondi do fanaka mum bondi dol bata la manke kilomita ite mala mum benyin ngana sa ite nana wol mete mako ke sama yete ye check fete fen soto la problème so de balol kono fe ma so de yima wala pirjino ko la modul bi se tarno is loose mind no le ma wo fanala.
It was quite shocking to find out that these returnees come back home to no mental evaluation, no health assessments, or anything to reorientate them back into society after experiencing what no one should. However, in 2018, there seems to be a glimmer of hope, with a few initiatives starting up, with the support of the Gambian diaspora.
In our keen observation, we have been called for several patients that returned from Libya and they developed mental ill problems. Understand? We also have some cases who actually made it to Europe, but they have been returned due to the change of behavior. They cannot, live with the people there anymore. They had no care, as in care at home. They can have the modern medicine at the hospital, but it needs social counseling and social therapy at home. When they don't have that, everybody is busy going to work. So they have to return them to the Gambia, and we have to care for them. So it's a very big concern for no health without mental health to get to these people. Because when you look at the causes of mental ill health, if you look at the biopsychosocial model, you will find there is a component for trauma. Trauma and some of these scenarios. Gambians, we are not, we are a little bit timid. When was the first time most people had the sound of a gun? So, you find yourself in one of these war regions. It's very traumatizing. It has to do with post-traumatic stress disorder, understand? Even in kids, if you torture them that much, or even you handle them in a way that they're not supposed to be handled harshly, understand? They live with those memories. We are talking about grown-ups that have been exposed to torture. Some ladies, rape. People have been killed in front of them. They have seen very violent scenarios, violent language, and they have been on to see some of them almost drowned. They have been living with dead bodies in rooms for a long period of time. That is so traumatizing. No matter how strong you are, that can just easily break you. Understand? So our initiative, we are not doing it on our own. It is highly powered by the Gambians in the diaspora. Mariama Samate and Desiree, they came up with this initiative of supporting us because we have been working with our resources. Out of all the other health components, the medication used for mental ill health is the most expensive.
Slowing, si move on and according to slow for about was the moon was slow so that Marmon Tonya slow over about the apartment and the Adusis symbol about it was a moon, you could do, less tennis, Yamo Punkin or Kuru Besiga, one day, yes, you know what I have for doing Tripoli. They are personally, that are for Zabrada, do the Giocono. Italy, Yada, around saving a couple of money time. But Alamana can do not because Kabum for the daughter, slow another more than the Giocono. And the Kuluma is on to say to Tripoli, a more to Giocono, who is visible and a more to go to some Italy. So, but in Muyana can school not a late, when do not an idea of the Yagan, not a door in Giocono. So 130 people are a ball. So not a base in Libya. In Libya, so not at a Saturday Dobie, Zabrada Balo, Capra Surma. So that that a prison now. So maximally, Guru Kewaka 20, wait $1,000, $1,000 for you. So it's a Marcy Film sort of somebody to put it at the so the moment put us out, better load, do go maybe 2 months, 3 months, we'll see what it's not a bad way, see, see. But I'm personally in Mana corridor, all of them out because 26 years, 26 days in order to keep prisoner. So not about that as a brother. So some brother company, moving one another.
We all have a stake in the struggle. We are losing our youth, our promise, and our human resources on a large scale. Something must be done, for this phenomenon affects us all as people of the third world, yearning to develop our own nations, to live in and seek happiness and prosperity. Surely, we can find a way to do so without risking our lives, to seek for greener pastures. Until then, we'll continue to be in the era of flight mode.
I saw the EP. All I hear down here, different days, same shit, fake promises, waiting with the same heartbeat. I wake up every time hearing in my neighborhood a nigga got arrested. I wish I could turn the time, bring back the old days when visas were branded, frosted old ways. Impressed by the fact that home is a cold place, Nyepo booger dust and duck like a cut case. It's lying to you, cause you ain't no love for fake. Doctor of Mogen, Bokasi and B. Take that flight, but a jello focus it can. Ask he who went and came back, and he would tell you down there is a comeback. Ask he who's digging the soundtrack, and he would tell you Jollof is a rent contract. Tuki taki, doctor, tuki taki, goofy doctor, tuki taki, doctor, tuki taki, goofy doctor. Tuki taki, doctor, tuki taki, goofy doctor, tuki taki, doctor, tuki taki, doctor.
Tuki rek taxul a tekki sa wërsëg fu mu ne jàppal ne bés di nga ko fekki yàgg rek a tax nga doon ki nga bëgg a nekki ak sa teranga fëgg noon dul mën a wekki bul ma sa tàyyi ba nga ñu lay bàyyi gannaaw sa dara sottee dul ngeen di jël bëcc bi naaw day saan dëkk loolu du si pantere xool noo si génne alla war a lëppale terrain with sa break yàlla béy sa tool jóg na jël élan jéggi bax ci suuf si ndóol bañ a xool li nga ñàkk ba di sàllit du yoon nag si xër lu la yàq def ko mbalit muy fii wala duggal rakk ndaw juggal bàyyi sa life all the time def ko